Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on the CTC channel. It stands for Create, Transform, and Connect. This channel is all about personal growth and development and just pushing ourselves to live better and happier lives. My name is Krendl. I'm an international award-winning illusionist, creator, and inspirationalist, and this is a special series. This is a continuation of last week's episode. So if you haven't seen last week's episode, go right here. That will bring you directly back to the beginning. That way you can appreciate this entire process. I split it into two because during my research of this idea of looking at how to live a balanced life in a different way, I stumbled upon this gentleman who I just really got into his personal story, and I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to give it its full weight, so to speak. So with that said, this is going to jump right back into a continuation of how to live a balanced life. And this is dedicated to the importance of focusing, how focusing allows us to sink into a balanced life in every activity that we do. Focus, being present, it's all the same. It's all wrapped together. So let me share you the story, and there'll even be some magic attached to it as well that I hope you enjoy. So one of the last tips or strategies I'll give you about leading or trying to have a balanced life is focus. Just like everything else, it is also a muscle. It is something that you have to work on constantly, and if you don't, you digress from it. You need to strengthen it just like your mind and body. There are a lot of ways that you can do this. Some simple ones are puzzles, plain puzzles. Finding anything that you can lock yourself into and basically push out the outside world. Start with very small increments, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and just keep building that muscle. Playing games can be one, reading, writing. These are things that are free and simple to do that we can all do in our free time when we find it. And that's the best place to start it. Do it in a safe place where you can kind of, again, break from external components. Then, step it up a bit. Try it in real world scenarios. If you're at work and if you can just laser focus into that and block out the distractions that are going to happen, you will find some balance there. You will feel less burned out. You will feel less stress, less anxiety. You're not going to wipe the slate clean. You're always going to have these emotions, these negative things like stress and anxiety, but let's work on just managing it and getting it lower. That's how we become balanced. This leads me to this last component that I'm happy and excited to share with you because it's about another gentleman that I read on who inspired me. In fact, I got so inspired I started trying it myself to understand the feeling and impact that he felt. His name is Muhammad al-Shinbari. Now he is based in northern Gaza. And there was this article that was done, and it ended up all over the world. You can type in his name and you will find him in dozens of media outlets. It's the same article. But so this guy has literally captivated the world over this idea. He loves to balance objects. That's it. He's balancing art. But on the surface, while it may seem really like mundane or simplistic, it is powerful stuff. There were some amazing quotes from him or phrases that came out of the article. One of which was, he talks about the intensity of mind and body working together to achieve and find that special fulcrum point on the object to give it its perfect balance point. Every object has a fulcrum point, a special Zen whatever spot on it, that if you hold it just right, you're able to do impossible things. What he's doing is real. Unlike a lot of what I do is magic, what he is doing is physically happening and legitimate. He is defying gravity, or at least it looks like that, based on how he's able to do these things. He talks about how it took him hours and hours and hours to do these things, and then he's honed it. He's gotten better and faster at it in finding these sweet spots. So the next layer, though, that makes this article even more inspiring and impressive is this. He's in northern Gaza. For those of you who are not familiar with Gaza or anything about it, and I'm not here to get into all the politics of it or anything like that, but it is a poverty, conflict-struck place that's in a bad, bad way. It's about twice the size of Washington, D.C. It's got about 2 million people in it, and it's blockaded. It's basically, and it's even been, I've seen quotes about it, they basically call it an open-air prison system. They are locked in. And in addition to that, they are being controlled by several different conglomerates that decide what comes into the country, what goes out of the country, and then you have war and all these other things and atrocities that are happening on a daily basis. This guy is in the thick of it. And where does he find his peace and his happiness? In balancing objects. Think about that for a moment. Try to put yourself in that environment, in your mind at least. All these external things that you can't control, and we're talking about life, death, and suffering of children and all these other things. 95% of them don't have direct access to water. 80% of them rely on international food aid just to stay alive. This is some bad stuff, some heavy stuff. Yet he's able to disconnect from it and find hope, peace, and balance by doing this. And if he can do it, we can. There's no doubt. What a huge hero and inspiration in the process. And to really understand it and appreciate it, I started practicing it myself. Taking ordinary objects and figuring out how to balance them. I've gotten goosebumps from trying to do it because when you find that sweet spot and you're able to let go, oh, it does. It feels amazing. And what is this teaching you? Deep focus, being present, and balance, all wrapped into a simple exercise. So check this out. So in the spirit of Muhammad al-Shinbari, let's balance some things. I found these things from around my office here. I got a Gatorade bottle, toothbrush, pencil, 2 boxes. One's a card box and one's a crayon box. They're both emptied out, and a crayon. You know, when we look at items or objects, we typically think of them being held to the ground by gravity. We often don't think about the idea or the concept of them doing extraordinary things. But when you find the balance, the fulcrum point, the center, we're able to do amazing things. Balance, though, is not meant to be maintained. But rather, something that we strive for, we desire. When we are able to achieve it, we feel truly elevated. Balance, though, is fragile. And it can be taken away in an instant. When you experience balance, it's as if you're experiencing something extraordinary. As if you're defying the laws of nature. Balance is about being present. When you are present, you are balanced. Guys, we'll see you next week. Until next time, take care.